my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Click the screen to advance the game. Your choices will affect the outcome of the story. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, yes. Dysfunctional systems! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Guys, this is Dysfunctional Systems. It's the first episode, and as far as I know, no other episodes have come out of this yet, but I know they will eventually. And it's called Learning to Manage Chaos. These are the same creators who made Jupiter's Knot, and whether you know of that visual novel or not, it's, oh my gosh, that visual novel was so good. I got it on the iTunes app store. That's the only area that I know where you can actually get it, and you're actually like paying the artist and the writer and everyone who was involved in the project. And there's probably other ways, but I don't know them. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm just, oh gosh, I'm so excited to play this. I'm so excited to see what they've created. So, okay, let's go. The music is so great. I love the person who made the music. And the art's good. Oh man, I'm so excited. Okay. Working families across Brighton are no doubt ensuing a collective sigh of relief today as the legislation for a minimum wage increase of 50 cents passed in Parliament early this morning. Ew, 50 cents. That's really not a lot, but I guess it's better than what it was. This bill comes after public outcry that the majority of Brighton citizens are without enough income, too poor to make ends meet after the recent increase in food prices. Okay. That's good that they raised it, but they could have raised it a lot more, or at least you'd think. The change brings minimum wage for workers working over 40 hours a week to $3.67 an hour. What? And workers working less to $3.20? Oh my god, in Canada a minimum wage is like $10 or like $10.50. What in the world? That's horrible. Although welcomed by most, there has been stiff opposition toward the bill from foreign investors, primarily those from Gabria. Major Gabrian companies such as Uchko and Norkley have warned the wage increases would hurt Brighton's economy, arguing that the new rate would force more layoffs as they cannot afford as many employees. Oh no. President Barnaby, who has been supportive of the legislation since its inception, retorted that well-fed employees were more productive and reminded Uchko and Norkley representatives that employing a Brighton citizen was still over 16 times less expensive than employing a citizen of their home country. Oh wow. Stocks did, however, take a moderate tumble after the approval of the legislation. President Barnaby assured citizens that the drop should only be temporary and that the markets will begin to rise again after the initial shock has subsided. With this minimum wage increase, Barnaby has finally fulfilled the last of the campaign promises made during his 1523 campaign trail. Whew! That's a long trail. Whether or not he manages to accomplish his 1527 goals remains to be seen. Yeah, okay. With that, we conclude our hourly business report. Next up, the latest in entertainment news. Without a doubt, I still find it strange. Everything strange. Bizarre. Really, if these worlds were nothing like my own, at least then I could appropriately flip out. But no, they're similar. Too similar. I keep slipping into a feeling of normalcy, only to have that sensation of strangeness slap me across the face at the first sight of something weird. There are plenty of weird sights around to do so, too. Like, for instance, these advanced-looking televisions in this decrepit-looking building, which I can only assume is an electronics store. They are the first things I've seen since arriving in this world that actually look somewhat new, fancy even. Up until now, everything has been old, ramshackle, and in various states of disrepair. Okay, so you're a world traveler. I think. It makes me feel very nervous. It's just so profoundly disturbing. Will I ever get used to this? I think that I will. Some year or decade from now, if my mentor is still any indication. Look at him, standing there so aloof, as if this were just another day to him. Which, yeah, I suppose it is. Well, what do I know? Nothing. Winter. Yes? What do you think? Think about what? About what we just saw and heard. Oh. There's something in the codex. Am I supposed to click it? Brighton. Okay. Brighton is minor society on SH659541, Seoul, with strong historical and present connections to both Gabria and Ferdia? I hope I said that right. A site of several rich mineral deposits. It was previously a Gabrian colony, but gained independence 120 Seoul years ago. Okay, that's significant time, I would assume. It also shares a large portion of its border with Ferdia. I don't know how I said it before, now I gotta try again. Ferdia? I think I said it like that. Okay. An truce has been signed between Gabria and Ferdia concerning the territory. Brighton was still a colony at the time. Although Brighton shares in the technological advancement of its mother country, it does not share in prosperity and is economically weak by comparison. The Brighton people are a hardworking and closely knit group and tend to describe themselves metaphorically as ants. This society has not yet been visited. Okay. Seoul. Oh, the planet! Local name Seoul. Active. Planet. 9 major societies. Development, scientific low level, rapid advancement. Physics are rigid. I don't know enough physics in order to understand that, personally. Plane shared with other numbered planets in different systems, or system numbers, I guess that's what that is. Isolated, yes, visits 45. Personal security note, many species of fish on Seoul are poisonous to earthen. Avoid seafood to be safe. Okay. System blah 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 blah. Seoul is one of 4 planetary civilizations known to reside on plane blah 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 blah. Well, I should read it just because I didn't read it the first time. 73813. Okay. Currently, it is unaware of its distant neighbors and is likely to remain so as it has not yet achieved interstellar travel. Seoul's 5 continents are largely arid and mountainous. However, each contains small patches of fertile land. These lands were once endangered due to the war and conflict, but are now fiercely protected as a result of mediation visits numbers 8 through 15. Okay. There's a lot of text here. System 8659541 contains 12 oceans. 12 oceans?! That's a... oh wow, okay, that's a lot of oceans. All of which are heavily salted and somewhat acidic. Oh. Nevertheless, these oceans contain a variety of sea life, and consequently fishing constitutes a large portion of both the economy and food supply of Seoul. International conflict with regards to the ownership and right to fish sea life was resolved in mediation visits 16 to 22. The harsh conditions of the planet have led to an increase in the rate of technological advancement, causing Seoul to teeter on the brink of an outlier classification. Is that good or bad? Scientific discoveries can happen much more quickly here than in most other worlds. Due to this level of chaos within the system are variable and may spike unexpectedly. However, overall, this has not been a common occurrence. Although there are 9 societies on Seoul of notable influence, there are 3 that are of particular importance to the system. These 3 are called Gabria, Ferdia, and Rosary. Or Rosaire. I think I like Rosary better, but I don't know if that's how I'm supposed to pronounce it, so Rosaire, I guess, is what I'll stick with. The remaining 6, Roma, Caras, Dom, Jonas... I'm gonna keep thinking of the Jonas Brothers with that one, I'm sorry. The Madlands and Mies, I think it's Mies. are not usually of major consequence, though are often caught up in the quarrels of the main three. The main three will be covered in brief in the following paragraph. Please visit their respective codex entries for more in-depth information. Gabria is the most economically powerful of the three, largely due to its sizable number of colonies scattered across the globe. It is also the most frequently problematic. Ferdia is a military superpower as well as a paragon of the arts. It is prone to warring and is also commonly involved in the subject of mediation. The last society, Rosaire, is diabolical, having a reputation of cruelty and bizarre acts of violence. That seems very contrary to its name, considering that it's such a nice name that you don't really want to associate it with that. It has used fear to rise to power and control its populace. Interestingly, it is the least problematic of the three. That is interesting. And its involvement in issues can dramatically lower the levels of chaos. Okay. Despite Soul's occasionally high levels of chaos, it has not often required mediation and is considered quite stable. Still, caution should be taken when visiting this world. Okay. To be honest, I wasn't really thinking anything about it. Winter, we've only just started. Please try to focus. Yes, yeah, I will, sorry. It's just, well, I'm still finding it a bit hard to wrap my head around the idea of destructive conflict. Well, of course, I was the same when I first started out. There aren't that many examples of conflict at all in our world. Right! You might even find it surprising that war is actually a word in our dictionary. Totally! Yet still. Winter, you'll come to understand conflict very well. Don't worry. After all, you'll be doing nothing but dealing with it. Lame. Well, anyway. You read the material on this world, right? It should have been your homework. It was. Then tell me what you think. Perhaps it's time to admit that I didn't spend much of last night reading the material so much as turning the pages and glancing at them. Is that what the codex is? Is that just like everything I need to know? That is technically my homework? Is that it? Or is it something I don't know about yet? I was tired and honestly found watching the bubbles in my soda significantly more captivating than the words in those files. The way they merge with each other and crawl up the glass is really incredibly pretty. You're certainly pondering rather hard there, Winter. You must be whipping up a dazzling answer. Brighton is poor? That's a fact, Winter, not a thought. Sorry, what I think is... Nothing. Look, what I've learned so far in class doesn't seem to be particularly applicable to this world, so I'm finding it a bit difficult to care. How can I care anyway? Besides all that, this is all so disconnected from me. Plus, it's only my second world. For heaven's sake, I'm still flummoxed by the fact that other worlds exist. What am I supposed to think when they just toss me into these places? Give me a pat on the back and say, "Be on your way, merry child." Actually, here's a thought. What kind of name is Brighton? That's a stupid name for a country. It sounds more like a town. The town of Brighton. Population 40. Ugh, blah! I'll scream blah at Cyrus and any other mentor who questions me like this. I mean, I won't, but I would. I completely, totally, and so would. For now, though, an awkward and wobbling smile is all I can muster. Blah. Well, whatever. What do you think the next step is? Alright, cool it, Winter. Just remain calm and genuinely consider the question. The next thing to do... We need to learn things that weren't given? Right. Sir, I couldn't ask my last mentor. Why are the dossiers we get before we come to these places so thin? Well, it's because they are simply comprised of first-hand information, noteworthy things that mediators have gathered through observation and gleaned from prior trips to the world. You're lucky you even have that much. Sometimes you get sent to worlds that have never been visited before. Let me tell you, it's never fun when a surprise dragon flies out from behind a mountain, or when you realize that the person you've been talking to is really just a convincing projection, or worse, a robot. And once you start going into systems that threaten your definition of what being a world even means, good luck. Then again, only experienced mediators, have to deal with such things. You won't be going to any unvisited worlds. At least definitely not yet. Oh, another question. Why revisit worlds that have been helped? I mean, once order is in place, everything should be fine, right? I mean... Cyrus frowns, but his expression seems more complicated than that. I say that because his frown isn't alone. In his eyes there's a glint of irritation directed at no one in particular. As any glint, it's gone in a second, replaced by another thing that I can't quite decipher. Part of me is curious as to what it is, but most of me doesn't care. Winter really doesn't care about anything other than, like, her own... everything that she knows already. Except, like, she asks questions in order to be a proper mediator for the who seems to be starting out as such, but... like... still! You're pretty comfortable in your ignorance, man. Here's the short answer, because chaos cannot be contained or removed. Although it can be lessened by us, it will rise again over time. Sir, are you saying there's no point to anything? No. Chaos is not inherently bad, Winter. It is the means by which all worlds are born and continue even ours. Oops, I did really bad reading in that one. There's a comma there. Oops. Furthermore, it is the spark of evolution. It plays a key part in those mutations which allow life to grow and improve itself. However, for life to succeed, there must also be order. It's like... it's like how cells must work together and organs must serve their purpose. You see, a system where chaos is stronger than order is likely to collapse, just as an organism which has succumbed to disease is likely to die. In short, we are not here to eradicate chaos, Winter. We are only here to keep it in check. Oh. Anyway, where do you think we should go next? Well, someplace with a lot of information, I suppose. Allow me to get to thinking about such a place. Oh, surprise, I'm done. The answer's so obvious it's insulting. After all, I had already gone there during my first mediation. The library! No, that's not... Why would we go to the library? I mean, I get your line of thought. Libraries can tell you a lot about a world's history, and I would bet there are computers there too, considering the world we're in. Unfortunately, that kind of knowledge probably wouldn't be so helpful for this job. What about scholarly journals? Reliable sources? No, I think we should find a bar. See, that's what I was thinking! Okay, she's very new. Huh? What is it? Oh, well, I just had a thought. Are the bars here special? Like library bars? Oh my god. No. I figured maybe you'd like to drink as you read, maybe. He's looking at her like he's stupid. I love this. I love this character. He's my new favorite. Winter, stop thinking about libraries. Sorry. Bars here should be normal as far as I'm aware. We'll head there because bars are where people go to talk. Cyrus then turns to walk away as if it is the next natural thing to do. Well, it's not. I stand incredulously for 3 full seconds before realizing that we're supposed to move ahead. She's so new. Well, here we are, walking along. Is this a street? I've seen a few vehicles pass us by, so I guess it is. Or I should say that I've heard them, for they have been loud. They are pretty sorry excuses for transportation, though. They have these grotesque metal protrusions out of their fronts, which billow dark smoke and occasionally drip liquid. As if that weren't bad enough, most every frame of these things has looked like a bludgeon team went wild on it. They were such bewildering things that they distracted me from the matter at hand, Cyrus. Is he not going to elaborate at all? He just walked off after telling me that people talk at bars. Thanks, Cyrus. I would not have guessed that people talk at places. Isn't he supposed to be teaching me? How can I learn anything with such vague statements? Well, Winter, well, you need to go to the ice cream parlor, Winter, because they sell food, Winter, well. Goodness, how annoying. And hasn't he been annoying since orientation? Pestering me and staring at me and annoying an unlikable person? This Cyrus, with a reputation at that, I swear. I mean, seriously, don't people talk everywhere? Sir, don't people talk everywhere? Isn't that the sort of thing humans are known for in general? Well, aren't you snippy? Oh crap, I just ruined everything, didn't I? I need to stop thinking so much or I'll let my thoughts slip out. I shouldn't have said it like that. He's my superior. I bet he'll lower my grade now. Sorry, sir, I didn't mean to be. It's just a bit frustrating when you don't explain yourself properly. Oh? I thought it was mostly self-explanatory. Not really at all, sir. Well, maybe it is, but I don't really know anything about bars. I've never even seen the outside of one. Ah, that's right. We're really not into drinking back home, are we? I don't know if I'd say that. Perhaps not everyone is the same. Well, bars are generally a place where people go to unwind. And the alcohol loosens their lips, so to speak. They'll talk about almost anything, themselves, their troubles, and often the root of the problem will involve what is troubling the world's people. It's a useful place to visit. Speaking of problems, what was the issue of the last world you visited? Pollution. The world was kind of oldish and much less practical than ours. They kept throwing out their stuff wrong and had bad ways of making energy. Their water ended up getting poisoned and a lot of them were sick. Long-term project, I assume. Yeah, my mentor had already been working on it for a while before I came. I think it was around 5 months. That's so. Glad I'm assigned short-term projects. It'd be something awful to get stuck with the same problem for nearly a year. I agree, but I don't know about the way you said that. How long did you shadow her? 3 days. I see. You've never had alcohol, have you? What? No, sir, I would never. I mean, I'm too young. I stop in my tracks, and he stops to turn. His lips then curl up in a kind of oh-ho-ho-ho expression. Oh-ho-ho-hoing at my innocence ripe to be defiled. It's creepy. I'm uncomfortable. No, you wouldn't do anything against the rules, would you? Was that a test? A trick? A challenge? No, sir. I would not. His smile broadens at this, and my discomfort increases. You know, Winter, each world you visit will have its own laws, its own customs, and its own social graces. You're going to have to learn to make your mind a little more flexible if you want to succeed. I'm going to have you drink some alcohol at the bar. Excuse me? I don't want to. Besides, I'm underage. It's against the law. Well, Winter, in many cultures, you will be expected to drink, even at your current age. You should be ready for that, and you should know the effects alcohol has on yourself and others. What? He's telling me to break the law? Whoa, no, that is completely out of my comfort zone. I probably hate alcohol even, right? I do not want to do this. I mean, I know we're in another world, so it's not really the law, but no, this is my conviction. I was born and raised to a set of rules, and I think it would be best to live by them. It's like what I learned in class. One might think it's best to try absorbing all aspects of cultures met. However, it is not advisable. In absorbing a culture, you run the risk of becoming absorbed by that culture as well. Mediators should not forget who they are. I am Winter Harrison. I will not be shaken by this. I don't think I can do that, sir. Winter. That's an order. This is part of your training. If you do not drink alcohol at the bar, I will be forced to fail you. What? That isn't... That's not allowed. You can't make me do anything. I most certainly can. I'm your mentor. Only for today. Only for today, and you aren't always going to be that. Besides, you can't threaten me because I have my convictions and I won't forget who I am. I'm right. I can tell I'm right because my cheeks are flushed, my heart is pounding, and he looks wounded. I hurt him. I struck out against him, and he knows he's wrong. It isn't just enough that he's hurting inside, though. I need to teach him a lesson. I need to knock it into him. Therefore, I will raise this trembling arm and trembling fist. I will raise it and grit my teeth, and I'll punch him right in his pathetic-looking chest. Ha! What? Winter, what is this? I am rebelling against you. Did you just punch me? I nod my head quickly and with purpose. You did? Well, what does it look like? My fist smashed into your ribs, didn't it? Well, smashed is... She probably didn't hit very hard because she's so tiny. That'd be like me trying to hit a 6-foot tall, 200-some pounded person and expected me to hurt them. Because I'm so tiny and so small, I can't do any damage to anybody. Oh my gosh, I'm crying. Oh god. Oh man, he is taking this so well. All of a sudden my hair goes paf, as if something heavy has lightly fallen on it. I glanced up to find Cyrus resting his hand on my head. Although I know what he's doing, in fact I just said so, I still am compelled to ask. What are you doing? Winter, fine, I won't force you to drink. You mean you can't? I mean I won't. I will, however, put forth a stern suggestion. It would be very wise of you to drink. It will help you ease into the taste of another place. I know what they've taught you, and I'll be lying if I said I ignore what I've learned. Just remember the way it's worded. You're allowed to let yourself go a little. Just don't forget. I haven't forgotten, and neither have you, it seems. But you shouldn't be afraid of stepping outside of yourself, if only for a little while. In a sense, that's what you're doing already in being here. So I urge you, Winter, have a pint. I'll just a little. Good enough. Well, there's a bar. Come on, Winter. That's a bar? What makes it any different from the other stores? It looks just the same from outside. They don't seem to pride themselves on distinction out here. Just wait till you get inside, girl. Just wait till you get inside. It may not look like much from the outside, but bars always look way better on the inside. Always. I run my hand through my hair and grimace. I wonder if since all these storefronts look like this, maybe they're all bars? No, honey. What a terrible thought. What if this is a culture which loves to drink? Will I be expected to drink a lot? I hope not. Warily, I begin to follow Cyrus. What am I doing? This is so illegal. I wonder if I can report this. You're probably good. Okay, brace for it. No amount of alcohol-tinged breath could be enough to prepare me for a bar smell, surely. Mother always talks about how awful bars are and how that's why she only ever drinks at home. Sweaty and piggish and smelling like failure. This can only lead to misery. Slowly, I part the fingers over my nostrils. It does not smell at all. Cut that out, Winter. You look ridiculous. Hey, leave me alone. I've been misled. Slowly, I put down my hand, but not without glaring at Cyrus. He ignores this, of course, and walks over to an empty table to have a seat. He then pats the top of the chair next to him, inviting me. Well, whatever. I follow his lead, still cautious of this place. Notice how there's only a few people here, although it's lunch hour? What do you mean? What do you imagine that means? Most of the people here really like to work? Or maybe they really have to. Well, it's probably a good thing that this place is so empty. Too many customers might be a bit overwhelming for you. Can also make it rather difficult to actually find out anything. I see. There are only 4 other people in the bar besides us, all of whom are men and all thrice my age by the look of it. The 2 who seem to be customers are dressed in a rather rough manner, like they've walked out of a construction site. I'm not the type to pride myself on appearance or anything, but I actually feel slightly embarrassed for them. They aren't the first in this world to look so deplorable, though. In fact, I would say they look fairly good by comparison. Most people I've seen look like they picked their outfits from a pile of rags. Thankfully. It's thankfully. Oh my goodness. Thankfully, the other 2, both in uniform, are very presentable. The waiter, or he's probably the waiter, looks rather spiffy. Yay, I'm not the only one who uses spiffy in a sentence! Yeah! And the man behind the counter is quite cleanly dressed, so this world is not entirely hopeless. But enough about men in clothes. The wall behind the counter is far more interesting. How is a wall more interesting than men? Like, especially spiffy-looking young men. There are 2 lengthy rows of wildly varying bottles, some round, some square, and some outright peculiar. Admittedly, I am enticed. Only for a second, I assure you. After all, I've been told that alcohol tastes like piss. Well, I wouldn't know myself. I've never tried it. What? You've never tried alcohol? No. Piss. I love this character. I love this character so much. I love Cyrus. He's the greatest. I love this character. He's brilliant. I love him. I love the writing behind this. I applaud the writer. They are so lovely. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Somehow I knew where that was going to. Oh, this is great. I love this. Oh gosh, I gotta pull myself together here. The facial expressions that he makes. The big old frown. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Oh, breathe. Breathe. Try and breathe. Oh man. Oh man. It isn't the best until you get used to it. That aside, I've also been told that it makes you act like a twit, causes bouts of forgetfulness, and slowly poisons your liver. Well, you're not wrong. That is true, to a point. Eventually, you become addicted to it. Not everyone does, but there's the possibility. Then why drink it? I love that frown. I love his frowns. I love them. They're amazing. The artist for this is super amazing. I love them. Some people enjoy losing control over themselves, and many love to forget. You'll see for yourself and be able to form your own opinion soon. I would rather not. Honestly, I'm more than fine with following the popular opinion. It's often correct and has saved me a lot of trouble in the past. But the popular opinion isn't always the right opinion. While my thoughts wander to safer days, the man who I believe is the waiter comes to our table. What can I get you? 2 beers and 2 beers, any brand you'd like. Coming right up. When he departs, I find myself curious about 2 things. Firstly, I have to drink 2 beers? No, one is for me. Why would you want to drink one? I'm one of the people who enjoy losing a bit of control over themselves. I would not have pegged him the sort. How would you not peg him the sort? He looks every bit of someone who would want to do that. And he sounds like every bit of someone who would want to do that. You are one sheltered, ignorant little girl. At any rate, the second thing. What's a brand, sir? Does it have something to do with fire and iron? How sheltered and ignorant are you? Then again, she's from another world. She's completely new to this. I understand the point of view of a character who is completely new to everything. But oh my god. Pardon? Well, we used to what? Well, we used to brand cattle and other animals with a symbol that would associate them with their farmer, right? That is, if I remember my history. That was with fire and iron, so this is something similar? Oh my god, I love Cyrus. I'm not saying something stupid, am I? You totally are. Is it how the alcohol is made, perhaps? Are the ingredients burned in some way before they're officially beer? Maybe with some sort of spiritual symbol? They do call them spirits after all, there must be a reason for that, right? He's so upset! He's so upset! I fucking love this character! Cyrus is the best! Oh my god, I love this character so much! He's just so upset! Frown though! This frown of disapproval! Oh my god, I love it! I love it. I absolutely love it. Why isn't he saying anything? Or it has something to do with real spirits? Like some sort of rite where each batch is brewed in honor of someone who's died? Oh my god, I love this! I love the people who created this. I love them so much. They are beautiful, beautiful people. I need more of this in my life. I mean, I've read these places can be very strange, and... Am I close? No, no you're not. Oh, please let me be close. No. No, you are not close. Crap, I should have shut up way earlier. Why'd I ramble like that? Now I look the fool. Honestly, though, I'm a little disappointed. Some fantasy would be nice. Winter, I'm starting to think you've already gotten yourself drunk off the atmosphere. Oh, please. Here you go. The waiter has returned, bearing 2 tall and thick tankards forming at the brim. Beer, right? I know more of vodka and wines. See, I know more of vodka and beer mainly because I've had 2 boyfriends who really like beer. And then I like the vodka drinks. And then there's a couple of rums that I know of. And then there's a couple of scotches. But that's really it, I think. Yeah, that's really it. Ooh, that's a nice looking one. One is placed in front of Cyrus and the other in front of me. Enjoy. He leaves. I peek over my... What? I peek over my cup's lip and peer into its mouth. The beverage does not take kindly to my curiosity, bubbling and spitting at me. Eh! I withdraw with a start. How intimidating. Sir, don't be such a baby. It won't kill you. There'll be much worse things that you'll have to swallow than alcohol. Trust me. It sounds as though Cyrus is perfectly fine with bending over, should the situation demand it. Ingesting things like this? Ingesting things worse than this? Allow me to apologize, Cyrus, but I am not a wimp. I know where to draw the line. It is quite the opposite of weakness, really. It's strength. No one is going to be forcing me to do anything I don't agree to. That said, I did say I would drink some of this. Lifting the glass with both hands, I gingerly tip it toward my lips and take in a mouthful. Blech! Oh heavens, I do not want to drink this. I swish the liquid a bit, and as it mixes with my saliva, it seems nearly vicious even. I want to retch. This is simply the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth. Atrocious. It bellies the back of my throat with a sizzling, no, a burning sensation that is spread throughout my entire oral cavity. The ordeal lasts less than 10 seconds before I stop thinking and just swallow it. Blah! Blah, blah, blah. Oh, come on. Goosebumps ripple across my skin and my eyes water. The beer drains down my esophagus, raising everything in its descent. Yeah, that sounds like when I first tried a really strong alcohol. At least when it was straight. This is disgusting. Cyrus proceeds to drain half of his glass with a speed rivaling my mother's and an expression just as insensible. It amazes me that he can stomach it, and even more that he is willingly subjecting himself to it. Oh, this is pretty okay, actually. Best I've had in a while. You're joking. That was worse than what I imagined piss to taste like. And the sensation, everything about it, it's disgusting. Honestly, I find myself at a loss for words here. This beverage is just nasty. Finish that glass and we'll move along. I'm not finishing this. Do it. Do it. I mock him. Don't take that tone. Just finish your glass. Finish my glass? I let my hands drop with gravity, my cup crashing onto the table. This? This is what you want me to finish? Then Cyrus, who I am quickly losing respect for, I will drink this mug and in fact finish it if you do one thing for me in the future. Pardon? It isn't loud in here, Cyrus. I know that you heard me. Well then, what do you want me to do? Nothing now. The future is not now. Now is the present. The future is later, and I will tell you then. You're sure you're not drunk, Winter? Hush. Fine. You'll have your way if you'll have mine, Winter Harrison. It is a deal you cannot break, sir. With that, I drain my glass in a matter of seconds using a technique I have observed over the years. When I set it down, there is naught but suds. Cyrus is impressed. I am appalled. Ah, this is so nasty. I squeeze my eyes shut and let the wave of warm and trembling feelings wash over me. Ugh. Mercy, Winter, that was something else. How are you feeling? I answer him with a stare and a shiver. Really? I shake my head. Honestly, now that the wretched experience of an instant is over, I realize I was overreacting. While certainly vile, it doesn't seem to be immediately damaging. It looks like it will take more than one beer to impair my judgment. Either that or the stuff's effects are simply delayed. I am fine, I think. You should be. Yes, I realize I must have spoken too soon, as I suddenly feel a bit as though I'm glowing. It's not a terrible feeling, and I seem to still be myself. All is in order. I don't feel much different at all. Give it some time. You didn't really drink too much anyway. There usually isn't a whole lot of alcohol in beer. Yeah, I think it's only about like 5%. It's not a lot. Wonderful. Both of my theories are true. Okay, so what now? Now we begin conversing. Cyrus discreetly points to a man in the corner. I'm going to talk to that man. You take the one at the counter. Try bringing up work and going from there. Oh, and of course, don't forget to keep whoa. And of course, don't forget to keep where we're from and why we're here a secret. That kind of bartering chip shouldn't even be allowed to you kids. I'm going to talk to him alone? Well, yes, I think it would make him pretty uncomfortable to have both of us ganging up on him. Oh, I don't know about this. Don't worry, the bartender is right there, and I'm not far either. Nothing will happen to you. It's not that, I'm just not very good at talking to people. You're doing fine with me. You're my superior. Just go over there and give it a try. Fine. I get out of my seat and immediately yank at the table's edge as the floor shifts. Oh no! My knees quiver with fear and I firmly plant my feet, my heart thumping like I'm about to die. Gracious, what was that? Did something happen? Have we failed? Calm, you're just a bit tipsy. Shut up. I pause. Tipsy. Oh, buzzed, right. I'm just... Ah, crap. Just get over there. I surprise myself, briskly taking strides to the counter. I find the act curiously challenging and amusing. Each step I consider rather silly in its shakiness, and I begin wondering about how people learn to walk at all. Oh, music. If the music's playing, that means there's something significant is going to happen, right? And it's nice music. I really should get the soundtrack for this if I can. Not how my thoughts usually go, I think. I can't quite remember what I usually think about right now. I'm not drunk. I have no idea what that is from looking, and I have an idea of what that is from looking, and this is not it. Alright, I'm tipsy. Goodness, I'm unbalanced. I start slowing near the stools and suddenly break out in a cold sweat. I'm not good with people, so what am I doing about to talk to a man? While I'm considering this, the order to stop is not processed physically. I sit right down next to the gentleman as if it was the most natural thing in the world, and we are the oldest pals. Strong ties, bonds formed from years of manual labor at the pyres. Wonder how much alcohol I actually drank. Enough of this. Engage the man by his eyes. Yes, like that, like in the books. Lean forward and get a closer look, Winter Harrison. Oh, well, isn't he scruffy? Almost in an adorable way. His cheeks and chin are dashed all over with stubble, and his eyes are soft and caring. He vaguely reminds me of a father I knew that was not mine, but a classmate's. I open my mouth and mentally say hello, but the order is again not actually processed. So I just hang my jaw and stare. Oh yeah, that's great. He notices. Hello there, miss. Hello. It is all I can do to say this. I fail to keep his attention, and his eyes are turned to the television above the bar. Television. That's right, we have that here. It seems to be a sports channel that he's watching, not that I know which. I only know it's a sport as there's a ball. There are people, and both are on a field. It's either football or soccer. Or baseball. But it sounds like football or soccer. Ah, it seems to involve only sculpted men. A particularly intimate sport. Probably football. Wait, I'm overthinking it, though I do believe that most sports have a peculiar and exciting kind of subtext. This one I think I could particularly like to watch. You're a little young to be in here, aren't you? Yes, I am! I am 14! I should not be here! Oh shit, you're 14? Dang, I shouldn't be judging you so harshly then. I'm here with my uncle. My dad would never bring me here. My uncle is here and brought me here while he's on break. Right, mention work. Where is he? I point to Cyrus, who's now talking amiably with the other man in the corner. Goodness, such fast friends. He is the younger one. Ornery-looking person. The old man chuckles and I smile as though I've made a joke. Interesting word choice, girl. I read books. Not so? It is so, very much so. I read a lot. Is he celebrating the good news? Maybe. Was there some news? Ah. Do you mean the minimum wage increase, sir? Yes, great news, isn't it? He grins. I mirror him. It is. I'm glad. You working yet? Yes, it is work that I'm doing, granted unpaid. I am learning. Yes, I just started a little while ago. I see. Well, welcome to the workforce, young miss. Have you gotten your first paycheck yet? No, not yet. And my name is Winter. That should have been 2 sentences. Nice to meet you, Winter. I'm David. I've stopped speaking. I don't know why. It's almost as though anything I would say won't make any sense, so I shut up. He does not speak either. The quietness is getting to me. Isn't there something I can say? Anything? What can I say? No, I'm lost. This is a terrible feeling, like I'm drowning in air. Think! There must be something. What? You okay? Huh? Oh no, I'm panicking. You can tell. That's bad. Is this because of the alcohol? It must be the alcohol. Yeah. Speak. What do you do? Like for work, I mean. Help out at the wharf, head down into the mines, fit auto parts. That's amazing. Ha! Amazing. No, when you get older, you'll have to run multiple jobs too. Just about the only way to survive these days. How about you? What do you do? Oh crap, what do I do? Oh, why didn't I think of something first? Stupid. I shut my eyes for a second and give a quick shake of my head. What I do? Well, I guess I could technically be considered I'm a counselor. A counselor? Yes. Huh. Please let that be an acceptable job. Doesn't really seem like something that'd suit you. No offense or anything. I didn't really choose it. He gives me a somber nod of recognition. Yeah, you gotta take what you're given. Yes. I suddenly feel miserable and decided to lean onto the counter. I rest my head, letting the fluff of my hair and sleeves serve as a pillow, and I look away from David. That's right, I didn't really choose it. I didn't really choose anything. As decisions came around, I just sat on my hands thinking. I don't know, thinking that something would come to me. In a sense, I suppose that something did, but it wasn't in the usual way. Everyone else knew what they wanted to do after secondary school, and I was stuck on the path of a freeder. A step away from a leech. Ugh. I couldn't pick a specialty school. I didn't know what I wanted. School Mediatorum? Is that how you pronounce that? Huh? What is this school? Why had I never heard of it, yet somehow my parents weren't surprised by the name? Why was I chosen? What's more, how? I never applied to this thing. Why did I even accept to go? I guess I was just happy that something had been found for me, and the system always knows best. I mean, it's not as though I dislike it. I find the classwork and homework more than bearable, and my first shadowing went okay, though. It went okay enough. But, is this what I am? Is this what I'm meant to do? Oh, this is stupid. What am I thinking? The oligarchy is infallible. They never make mistakes. Therefore, this must be what's right for me. Even if everything about it is totally weird. Cackle, what's my issue? This is better than what would have happened. When did I start caring so much about my direction? Wait, what am I thinking? I'm supposed to care about that. Still, why should I? How should I know the way to forge my life's path when I'm just 14? I don't even know what I'll be like in 8 years. I shouldn't have to care about this now. No, this is really messed up. I'm so messed up. Hey, don't get like that. I'm sorry I brought it up. Can I get you something to drink? I turned back to glance at David, my nose tip brushing against cloth and sending a tingle across my face. Seeing him, I remember again. I'm in another world, as if I didn't have enough worries back home. Now I have a whole new world to worry about here. Another world which I had never heard of, but I'm supposed to believe it's real, just because things are here right in front of my eyes? So much strange stuff has happened to me that maybe I could just be dreaming. Is this man even real? Is he really here? Maybe he isn't. I've read that there are illusions. Would I prefer an illusion? Would I prefer this to be a dream? Maybe some sort of virtual reality. This whole idea is so ridiculous. What's worst of all, I find myself rather on the fence about this offer for a second drink. It would not be bad, actually, to forget who I am for a little while, perhaps longer. It would be natural. No, it would also be dangerous. I force the darker notions aside, study the course. I draw my head back into the nest of my arms, hair curling over fingers, and I bring myself up, countenance solemn. No, I think I've had enough. Suit yourself. I will. I look at David. Alright, what's next again? Need to figure out the root of the problem. It usually has something to do with the troubles of the people, right? I'll just be forward then. Has anything been troubling you lately? Nothing more than usual, I suppose. I'm just here to commemorate the occasion. That wage hike takes a major load off, though it's really too bad that we're still under Gabria's boot. You know, I bet they let the bill pass just to avoid revolt. They don't give a shit about us. Gabria, that's not this country, is it? Wasn't that... Ah, the mother country, correct? I think that Brighton shouldn't be a colony of theirs anymore. It was labeled as independent in the dossier. I need to know more. How might I ask properly? What about the president? He seems to be working for us? He does, right? You know it doesn't matter. He's just a figurehead. He can't do anything without Gabria's approval. Couldn't even raise a military to defend against Ferdia without them kicking up a fuss. Hell, it looks 6 months before they let him train a single soldier. I'll give them some credit, though. They quit crying about it and have been funding us rightly after since. Probably realize that if Ferdia took us over, then they'd lose their workhorse. Ferdia is a third country sharing a border with Brighton. What was it I read about them last night? Don't we have a truce with them or something? They've been around for a while. Yeah, but it's hardly there. Ferdia's never been too afraid to stir up a war or two over some real estate, or over some insult to their forefathers, whatever excuse. Our truce with them is just a piece of paper, and if they wanted to, they'd take us down in a heartbeat. Or they would have, at least, until we got an army to secure the border. Never know, though. Wow, this guy talks a lot. It's wonderful. I hardly have to say a word. Or at least I would if he didn't seem to want me to respond now. I put on a bit of an angry expression for a second and then reconsider. Maybe a sad expression would be better? What's my character anyway? Am I being myself here? Wait, no, none of that matters. Just answer. That's terrible. Okay, I need another question. Maybe I should let some of my ignorance show. Why is it like this anyway? You don't know? Hell, I'm not surprised. They practically skip over that in school. Skip a paragraph, maybe. Sure, they'll tell you Brighton used to be a Gabrian colony, that we gained our independence 120 years ago. They just never mention the costs of that freedom. Economic sanctions, crazy ones. I mean, they weren't always crazy. Back then, minimum wage could feed you and more. The sanctions haven't changed, though. Haven't adjusted with the dollar's value and cost of living. We screwed up, got lulled into this false sense of liberty, got so caught up in things we could do, we forgot what we can't. Thanks to inflation, these sanctions are making us so poor that they're killing us. I mean, literally killing us. That kind of sounds like how certain areas are wanting to separate from their original places. Like, I know Scotland is trying to separate from the rest of the UK and be its own country, which, to be honest, out of my own ignorance, I thought it already was, but it turns out it's not. And they're trying to do that now, but it seems like the economic standpoint of that would be crazy because they'd have to create their own currency and all of that, and that just sounds really hard. And then there was also, I think the Ukraine was trying to separate from Russia. I think that's what they wanted to do. Can't quite remember off the top of my head, but it sounds similar. It sounds like this could be the result of such if it goes down badly. Not a great thing to bring up when there's something to celebrate, but I don't even think they're tackling just how many have died trying to live. I don't think they're tracking just how many have died trying to live. I know I've definitely lost count. Then, is this the root? I mean, it sure does suck that these people are poor, really. Though honestly, if they've been this way for so long, they should be used to it. That doesn't mean you want to stay like that. Like, come on, girl. What is poor, exactly? The television was harping on it earlier, and David was harping on it just now. So I figure it must be important, but, you know, it's nonsense to even consider this seriously. Your ignorance... I don't understand any of this. The obsession over the economy, the excitement over higher wages. None of it makes sense. Poor is not having enough for a snack. Money is a trivial thing. Another thing is that it's not even a major society of the world. That being the case, how come we're dealing with it at all? And Cyrus, what is he thinking dragging me here? He probably only wanted a drink. How can I learn about the whole world just from one person? Not much. You're learning quite a lot, I say. At least if you have any prior knowledge at all in that brain of yours. Ugh, this is stupid. Stupid! Ugh, this must be something else. It must be something else. If it's so terrible here, I wonder how it is in Gabria. Complete luxury. They live like kings. Even their bums have lived better than us. Whoa, that is filthy. A filthy thing to say. It's a damn miracle any of them work at all with how much they get for free. They get fired, the state takes care of it. They're hurt, the state covers it. No job to start with, the state. The state will go to the goddamn moons for its precious Gabrians. Can you believe it? People are starving here, and it's that kind of fucking bullshit that... I winced and raised my shoulders a little. Sorry. It's okay. I don't really take any offense to swear words or rude language, but my dad was never terribly fond of them. I've grown unused to their bite. The harsher ones, anyway. It's a bit shocking to hear one in that tone. I decided to look back at the television, feeling embarrassed on David's behalf for reasons beyond my immediate comprehension. And there's something in the codex. Gabria. Oh hey, it's quite short. Gabria is a major society on S8659541, Sul. It is one of the 3 most significant societies on said world, marked by extreme wealth and influence. It is the richest society on Sul and has connections with nearly all other Sul societies. Gabria is currently a patriarchal monarchy with socialist leanings, government-funded health, education, welfare, etc. Kinda sounds like what we have in Canada, but not nearly the same thing. Politics is really difficult to follow. At least sometimes. The majority of mediations on Sul have dealt with this society. Gabrians began as a nomadic trading people, quickly establishing a reputation for their amiability and good dealings. Trust was heavily placed in them for their reliability, and they often ended up playing an intermediary between several budding nations on their home continent. Eventually, seeing the value in the messages they were charged to carry between countries, they began trading information. Their mobility, connections, mercenary escort, and knowledge of secrets protected them from assault, and soon the nomads became rather notorious. At some point in time, they founded the Gabrian nation along the coast of their continent. From their new settlement, they amassed a military and turned to imperialistic goals. It did not take them long to have much of the world under their influence, with colonies on every continent and a grasp on most countries. Gabria is also largely responsible for the technological advancement of S86-59-541. Their ingenuity and cleverness mixed with opportunism has pushed scientific discovery along much faster than the average system. They have managed to develop and act upon nuclear theory, powering their society in old colonies with rudimentary, somewhat experimental nuclear fusion reactors. Not fission. Fission and fusion are completely different. Their latest project has been the construction of artificial islands on Seul's oceans. Currently, Gabriel remains at the top of Seul's society, while it has granted technical freedom to all its colonies. It seems that they are still leashed in some way or another to their mother country. As it usually would be. I know Canada is still connected to England and the UK in a couple of ways, like in higher parts of our government, and we sometimes have the royal family come and visit, sometimes, which I think is pretty cool to a certain extent. Like, yes, royal families aren't really used much or needed anymore in this kind of day and age that we have, but I still think it's kind of cool that we have them, even if they're not really needed much or used, really. But I think I will stop here. As far as I know, this is all just beginning stuff, and it's pretty long beginning stuff. I'm just kind of waiting for a chance to make choices, and anytime there's any anticipation for when she's getting a moment to actually seem to make a choice, she ends up making it herself so far, so hopefully we'll get to a part where we get to make choices, because it'd be interesting to see how it all plays out. But yeah, this is Dysfunctional Systems, Episode 1, Learning to Manage Chaos. And I'll see you guys in the next one, whenever that may be. So yeah, Micah signing off. Oh man, this save screen is cool. Oh man, that's cool.